It is the 28th of November and I have to read 17 more books in order to complete my Goodreads challenge. God help me. Salutations, welcome to Loving the Language of Literacy. My name is Sophia Lee and I'll be sharing with you my TBR for the rest of 2015. So I have 15 books written down that I'm going to share with you today. Warning! These are the books that are the dregs of my TBR. These are the ones that I never got around to. These are the ones that I still really want to read but haven't had the time for. The ones that I've made every single excuse under the sun for not to read. But let me just face it. I have to read 17 more books this month. They may not be any of these 15. In order to feel accomplished for my 2015 reading year, I have to finish these. Not all of them, obviously, but I have these ordered in the list of what I'm most likely going to read. Not in terms of what I probably should or what I want to read them in, but what I'm most likely going to do, because there are so many things that impact it, like subject matter and length and availability, and I'm going to go crazy. What am I even saying? I have gone crazy in the past entire month of November with NaNoWriMo, with the literary magazine, with just blogging and booktubing in general and reading. I'm going crazy, and I'm going to share these books with you right now because I will lose it. I will really lose it if I don't. The first book we have here is one that I actually got yesterday at the Barnes & Noble Black Friday sale, and that is an autographed copy of The Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan, which is the first book in the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. If you don't know, this follows a 16-year-old homeless boy named Magnus Chase, who is the cousin of Annabeth Chase from the Heroes of Olympus last Percy Jackson series. And one day, this mysterious guy tells him he is the son of a Norse god and that his mother's in danger, so he has to cope with having this entire truth being told to him, as well as having the entire weight of the world on his shoulders. What's new? Even though it's middle grade, and even though it's, 475 pages or something like that, I'm going to be done with it in like 2 days. I love Rick Riordan, and you can bet I'm going to finish this because it's what I'm currently reading. So, one book down that I'm probably going to read. Number 2 is Mosquito Land by David Arnold. I'm actually listening to it as an audiobook. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. I'm only a few minutes in. It's about a girl with kind of really mixed family issues. Her mom's gone missing and she decides to hitchhike across part of America to find her. I'm sure it's a journey of self-discovery. I've heard a lot about this story and some critiques that it's not going to end very well, and I don't think that she'll find the mother that she wants at the end of the story. Nevertheless, it's going to be a wild ride, and I'm really excited to listen to the rest of it. Book number 3 on this TBR is my signed copy of Why Not Me by Mindy Kaling. It is another memoir. I read Is Everybody Hanging Out Without Me and Other Concerns. It made my top 14 books of 2014. I love Mindy. I haven't actually seen her in that much, but she's just freaking hilarious, and she has so much insight and just advice. I love the back of it. It's basically her heart with things like subtweeting my enemies and true love and attention and praise. This is what her heart is made up of, according to her, and I'm pretty sure I'll just zip through it. The 4th book I have on this list is actually one that I'm giving to my sister for Hanukkah, but once I give it to her, I will be asking for it back so I can read it. I know I'm just the greatest sister ever, and that is More Than This by Patrick Ness. I'm not 100% sure what it's about, besides the fact that it's contemporary, it's LGBT, and I freaking love Patrick Ness as an author. I've read The Rest of Us Just Live Here and A Monster Calls. Both of them have completely blown me away. He's a very thought-provoking author, and whatever premise he presents to you is just surface level, and it's so much deeper. It's usually about self-discovery. He is on point as an author, and I am asking for that book straight back once I give it to my sister. Book number 5 is actually part of a series that I started last November, and I never continued with. I now have no excuse. My sister has read books 2 and 3, and I need to read books 2 and 3. I feel really ashamed for it. I love the first one. I just know that it's a bit heavier and it'll be a little bit longer for me to get through, but I will persevere and I will dominate my 2015 TBR. You can bet on that. I haven't even told you what the book is. Days of Flooded Starlet by Laini Taylor is quite a chunkster, bright red, sequel to Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Go into it not knowing anything. It's a girl who knows a bunch of people and she has to deal with being a person herself. Replace the word people with magical being / creature and you'll be fine with the synopsis. Book number 6 is actually coming in my Black Friday book outlet order, so it's not here yet, and that is The Good Luck of Right Now by Matthew Quick. I read Forgive Me Letter to Peacock in, I think, November of 2013. Also, this year, listened to the audiobook for Silver Linings Playbook. I love Matthew Quick. Whatever he's writing, it's usually focusing on social issues / mental illness. He writes pretty graphically, pretty deep as well, and he doesn't shy away from anything. He's very blatant. He's very male in his perspective and his characters, and I'm not even sure what the Good Liquor right now is about, besides the fact that it's Matthew Quick, and I'll pretty much read anything by him. Book number 7 is also one coming in that book outlet order, and that is The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Fleer, which to my knowledge is about a man's spiral into mental illness. I love mental illness books. I've heard so many good things about the gorgeous writing and the devastating tragedy that this book is, and I'm so excited to read it. Why am I giving it a thumbs up when I just said devastating tragedy? I don't know what's going on. I told you I'm crazy. The 8th book on this list is one by one of my favorite authors of all time, and the only reason it's not higher on the list is because I had the opportunity to read it earlier this year. I didn't take the chance, but now that I think that I have a physical copy, or at least will, that I'll read it, and that is The Rose Society by Marie Lu, which is a fantasy trilogy featuring an anti-hero and their spiral into darkness and villainy. What's really funny is that I went to Barnes & Noble yesterday with my friend for Black Friday sales. That's where I got the other 2 books. And I was like, hey, Ella, do you want to buy me a book, you know, for my birthday? 2 weeks before the birthday actually happens. It's in her possession currently, so I'm not going to be able to read it till she gives it to me. I think she's going to wrap it up, and then I'm going to act surprised. If you're watching this, Ella, thank you in advance, and I need that book right now to finish this TBR. Then we have a book that my sister actually gave me for Hanukkah last year, and I've never gotten around to. She, on the other hand, read the entire trilogy, but Denser Writing, known as kind of one of the first YA high fantasy novels, and I'm really excited to get into it, and that is Savoury by Garth Nix. I know nothing about it besides there are charter marks, which is these fun things. There's a girl. She has like a cat sort of creature named Moppet or something along those lines, and I'm going into it not knowing anything. And for high fantasy, I think this really is the good strategy to have. For the 10th book on this list, it's quite a chunkster. I've mentioned it before. I'm not going to go into G about the synopsis. You've all heard about it. You all know it. And that is, of course, City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. I need to read it. That's really all I'm going to tell you is I need to read it. I said about my goal of this year before the Shadowhunters TV show came out that I would read all 6 books of the Mortal Instruments. I've read 1 to 4. City of Lost Souls, City of Heavenly Fire. You know the drill. Shadowhunters, Demons, and I'm honestly so excited to read both of them. I just don't know if I'll get to them this year. The 12th book I have is an adult contemporary romance, and one that BookTube has actually gone crazy about, Rosie Project by Graham Simon, and it's in my book outlet order. It's about a grown man who has pretty much had no luck with the dating field, and he sort of devises this list for everything a perfect woman should be until this woman named Rosie comes along and is everything that's not on the list. She's a smoker, she does whatever she wants, she's a completely free spirit, and I think the two of them fall in love. Book number 13 on this list is one that I've talked about on so many different occasions. I've given you the synopsis, I just haven't read it yet. This is the ones that have been on the dregs of my TBR. I own the whole trilogy, but if I can get the first book read at least, I will be a happy person. And that is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Everyone loves her. Everyone loves the Grisha trilogy. Six of Crows just came out. I've met her. I haven't done anything about it. And I need to get on that. A quick summary: orphaned by the border wars, Alina Starkov is taken from obscurity and her only friend Mal to become the protege of the mysterious Darkling, who trains her to join the magical elite in the belief that she is the Sun Summoner who can destroy the monsters of the Fold. High fantasy, sounds great, probably pretty fast paced. I haven't read it yet and I need to. Book number 11 on the list, but I'm telling it to you as if it was 14 because I kind of skipped over it by accident, is one that I got in July. It was on my July and my September TBR. I've started it. It's been really heavy. I'm not very good at reading this author just because the comprehension level has to be really high and you have to be completely present while you're reading her novels. I'm gonna do it because I love her. I've read one of her books before. I've listened to another one. I've gotta read it, and that is I Crawl Through It by A.S. King. Basically, it follows 4 teenagers with extremely interesting circumstances, and all of them are opposed to the standardized testing. If you can't tell, this is all A, B, C, D, E, a Scantron, and there is a red correction marker on it. And if that doesn't tell you enough about the story, I don't know what will. Lastly on this TBR is something that I believe my sister's getting for my birthday, and that is Winter by Marissa Meyer, which is the 4th and final book in the Lunar Chronicles. If you don't know, Marissa Meyer takes all these fairy tales and gives them a completely sci-fi twist to them. For example, Cinderella is a cyborg and Rapunzel is a satellite technician, and it is quite an interesting spin. I've met Marissa Meyer, and while Lunar Chronicles isn't my favorite series of all time, I'm definitely interested and invested into seeing how it ends. Tell me in the comments below if there's one book you have to read before 2015 ends, what that is. I know the holidays are coming up, which means either more time or no time whatsoever, so I completely understand. And I know we're all behind our Goodreads challenges. I'm the crazy one who wants to read 150 books in 2015. I did it last year. Let's see if I can pull it off again. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Keep calm, read on, and we'll see you really soon. Goodbye. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you'd like to do even more, hit the subscribe button. All my social medias are my face at SLS Books. My previous videos are below me.